Namaste. One person living at USA believes the best looking actress of Hollywood is in love with him. A second person living at Australia sees polar bear in his garden, which no one else can see. A third person in Russia lives without any desire for pleasure or the need to communicate with anyone, completely withdrawn into himself. What is common in the three stories? What connects them together is the fact that all of them are instances of schizophrenia spectrum disorders. We will discuss today schizophrenia spectrum disorders with psychoanalysis consultant Mr. Himanshu Vaidya. Namaste, Himanshu Vaidya.
Namaste.
So, can we start with what schizophrenia spectrum disorders are all about?
Schizophrenia spectrum disorders we can uh, talk about in three ways. First, they are disorders which relate to break in reality testing. In technical language we call it impairment of reality testing. Second way we can define these disorders or describe these disorders is to say in terms of severity. That if we classify all mental health disorders into mild, moderate, and severe, these are severe disorders. The third way to describe schizophrenia spectrum disorders is to talk about reality and fantasy. This is a spectrum of disorders where uh, the equilibrium between reality and fantasy is broken. Reality loses control over fantasy, and fantasy takes over the mind of the person. And this is the way the person loses his connect with reality testing. So there are three ways of describing uh, the disorders listed out in this chapter of DSM. One in the break in reality testing, second in terms of severity, and the third in terms of the fantasy breaking free of control of reality.
So, what are the disorders covered under the chapter schizophrenia spectrum disorders?
Uh, the chapter has a number of disorders covered, out of which we will cover those which are more psychological in their nature. These include delusional disorder, brief psychotic disorder, schizophreniform, schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder, and catatonia or catatonic disorder. There are some more which are more biological in their nature, which are medically induced, substance induced, or because of other medical conditions or unknown conditions. Those are some more disorders in this chapter, but 75% of chapters listed out in this 75% of disorders listed out in this chapter are those with substantial psychological uh, foundation to them, and those we will be covering up.
So, everyone talks about these delusions and hallucinations. What really are they? Like, can anyone have a schizophrenia spectrum disorder without having either delusion or hallucination? What it is all about?
It's a very but it's a very good question because popularly people believe that anything to do with the schizophrenia spectrum disorders has to do with delusions and hallucinations. It is not true.
Mm.
So let us first go into it and then what delusions and hallucinations are, and then go into those disorders where these two are not predominant, or there is a possibility of having schizophrenia spectrum disorders without these two. Delusions are uh, unshakable beliefs in unreal ideas. It's an ideational problem that you believe in some idea where the belief is unshakable, not open to being influenced by reason, and the belief itself per se is fundamentally unreal. That is delusion. It's an unshakable faith in an unreal idea. It is ideational, more to do with belief and thought. Hallucination is uh, a sensory experience of something which actually is not present. Let me give an example. If I believe that all actresses of Hollywood have fallen in love with me and they are coming in a ship to meet me, if I believe they are coming in a ship to meet me, that belief is a delusion. But if I see the ship coming, that is a hallucination.
All right. So there's a sensory proof
So,
for it. So the
yeah,
visuals can be
yeah. So yeah,
here.
right. So hallucination can be auditory, it can be visual, it can be tactile. So you can uh, uh, hear things which are not there. You can see things which are not there. You can have sensations on your skin which actually have no real basis for them to occur. For
Hmm.
a normal person, they are occurring without a stimulus.
Right.
So that's how the delusions and hallucinations are. Both of them are break with reality. Both of them are unreal experiences. Right? Both of them uh, are very important elements that allow us to diagnose schizophrenia spectrum disorders. The difference being delusion is essentially ideational and hallucination essentially pertains to disturbed sensory perception, disturbed sensory experience. Now coming to the second question, can you have a schizophrenia spectrum disorder without them? Yes, you can have. So let us list out what are the essential areas where schizophrenia spectrum disorders are rooted. So we have about 5 to 7 areas where all disorders of this chapter essentially are rooted. First, delusions. Second, hallucinations. Third, disorganized speech. Fourth, disorganized thought. Fifth, disorganized behavior. Sixth, catatonia. And seventh, negative symptoms or withdrawal from normal interests and activities.
Okay.
These 7 areas are the areas where all the disorders in this chapter essentially are rooted.
Hmm.
So yes, even without delusions and hallucinations, you can have a disorder of this spectrum just by having disorganized speech or disorganized thinking or negative symptoms or catatonia.
All right.
So it
So
is possible to have this disorders on this spectrum even without delusions or hallucinations.
all right. And if we look at the entire chapter, what are the essential symptoms that we find spread across all the disorders you've listed just now in this chapter?
Uh, the essential things which are spread out uh, are like uh, one would be a distortion of belief. Second would be distortion of sensory perception or sensory experience. Third would be withdrawal. Fourth would be disintegration. Fifth would be confusion and perplexity. Sixth would be very uh, non-normal motor activity, which we see in catatonia. And seventh would be a very deep sense of disappointment and resignation. These are the essential uh, areas which psychologically are spread across this chapter. If you look from psychiatric point of view, what will be spread across this chapter will be what we listed out in the previous question: delusion, hallucination, disorganized speech, disorganized thought, disorganized behavior, catatonic behavior, and negative symptoms. So from psychiatric point of view, these elements will be spread out across all the sicknesses in this chapter. From a psychological standpoint, these will be the elements which are spread out.
Okay. So, like, what is the psychoanalytic explanation of causation of schizophrenia spectrum disorders?
We can look at that from two different points of view. One is the process view of psychoanalysis from psychoanalytic standpoint, and second, the phenomenological standpoint from the prism of psychoanalysis. If we look at from phenomenological point of view as to why these disorders which are given in the chapter occur at all, we have certain very popular phenomena, like for example, uh, if we take up the delusion of persecution, we would have the phenomenological explanation that it is because of repressed homosexuality. If the for the same delusion of persecution, we also have the explanation of attack of the bad breast. So there is a Freudian explanation of repressed homosexuality and the Kleinian explanation of attack of the bad breast for the same delusion of persecution. And Gohut would say it is the disintegration of the self because of which the split again has become open. And Devanlu would say it is the repressed, torturous and murderous rage which is projected out. And Jung would say it is the excessive activation of the predator archetype which is projected outwards. So this is one way to look at it phenomenologically. That phenomenologically, if we look at all the disorders which are spread out across this chapter, we have the phenomenological explanations from psychoanalytic standpoint, which are like this. One, the repression of homosexuality. Two, the attack of the bad breast, which means the paranoid schizoid split is open. Three, disintegration of a fragile self. Four, very deep disappointment or sadness, which leads almost to giving up and resignation, which ultimately leads to negative symptoms. Fifth, torturous and murderous rage projected out. So if we look at from phenomenological standpoint, this would be the list of psychoanalytic explanations for disorders given in this chapter. If we look from process point of view as to what processes are at work, then we find processes like this. First is wish fulfillment, creating a world as you want in the unconscious mind, in the outer reality. So first, in process terms from psychoanalytic standpoint, if you give an explanation as to how to explain the diseases given in this chapter, the first process explanation would be wish fulfillment. Second would be projection. What is inside is projected out, disowned and projected out. So I want to kill somebody, I disown it and project it outside, and I say he wants to kill me, leading to the delusion of persecution. Okay? So it is wish fulfillment. I create a world that I want. Right? So that will have a part to play in delusion of grandiosity, in delusion of reference. In the second mechanism would be projection, right, which would have a great part to play in delusion of persecution. Then you have narcissism, which would have a great part to play in the delusion of grandiosity, as well as delusion of reference, as well as delusion of erotomania. Then we will have the disintegration of a fragile self, a very deep resignation, sadness, and disappointment with this world, which will lead to the negative symptoms. And then we have the disintegration. Yeah, so we said disintegration of the self, projection,